So we're out here today at my herb spot, not in my herb garden because this came up wild, and it grows wild here in western Kentucky, but this is one you'd have to look for because you don't just see it everywhere. And look, there's a little cute, look at that, look at that. That is a hummingbird moth. Oh wow, that was beautiful. So anyway, we're looking at my self-heal. Self-heal comes up wild here, but it mostly will be in meadows and fields and sometimes even in yards, but you may never know it because you mow it down. It looks similar to purple dead nettle. It is in the mint family. It gets way bigger than the purple dead nettle. Spot of self-heal started coming up, and a few years ago, Lee took a picture of it and came to the house and said, what is this? I thought I knew what it was, but I did have to look it up because I wasn't sure, and it sure enough, it was self-heal. So, the self-heal is a very old medicinal plant dating way back. It does have the square stem. Like I said, it looks a little bit similar to the purple dead nettle, except that it's a lot bigger. A lot bigger. And the bloom here is rough. This part is pretty rough, pokey, kind of stiff and pokey. Will poke you a little bit if you're not careful. And so it's not soft. This part is not soft like purple dead nettle. It's kind of hard and bigger, much bigger. It goes all the way almost into our garden and all the way around where we have let it grow. It is spreading good. When Lee first found it, it was just a little small patch here. We'll get some of this up to the house. I have a tincture going with this. I'm going to take a bunch of it up to the house and make a tincture. And I'm going to try an oil this time. So I will be probably drying some of this and then making an oil with it is what I'd like to do this time. See how it looks like a hummingbird?
It looks like a bee to me.
Well, it looks like a hummingbird sort of, and it's actually a moth. Isn't that pretty?
Why does it look like a bee?
I don't think it looks like a bee. Maybe a little bit like a bee, but it really looks more like a small hummingbird.
The same colors.
Hummingbird.
It looks like a baby hummingbird.
As cute and pretty as they are, little tidbit of information here. That hummingbird moth is what lays hornworm eggs and is turns into the hornworm turns into that hummingbird moth. So as nice as this is and as cute as they are, and I love moths, there are some beautiful, beautiful moths, but that one is not a good one to see necessarily because that is where hornworms come from. But anyway, that self-heal, also called heal all, is an excellent plant to have for many benefits, a huge range of benefits with the self-heal. So we'll gather some of this up and go talk about it at the house, and I will go over some of the benefits. You use self-heal. Let me know how you use it and what you use it for. I'm going to keep it on hand for all kinds of different ailments that might come up. And if you know how to get rid of the hummingbird moth, that causes hornworms, let me know that too. Okay, folks. Okay, folks, we are back at the house in the kitchen, and we are about to make this tincture with this self-heal. Now, I already have some of this going, but I'm going to make a little more because you can't have enough of stuff like this on hand. And since it's made with alcohol, usually cheap vodka is the best thing, and 100 proof cheap vodka, y'all. And there's a reason for that. If you're using wet material, fresh plant material like I am, you don't want that extra water in there that 80 proof would give you. Now, if you're using dried material, you could use the 80 proof, but 100 proof is really better, and it's just as cheap. So, especially if you get the really cheap one, doesn't matter. Okay, so first thing, I'm going to cut these up with scissors, and you could use this whole plant, but I'm going to use just mostly the leaves and a little bit of stem maybe. Doesn't really matter. You could use all of the stem. I'm only doing a pint, so I'm just going to cut up the main, the leaves and the flower head. And so, just cutting those up in here. I'm not going to fill this up all the way because I want plenty of room for the vodka to make. And I'm going to dry some of this to make, like I said, an oil, make an oil. All right, so here we go. Now, you can eat these leaves raw. Supposedly, they taste like lettuce. I have not tried that, but you know me. I'm going to try it for you. That's not bad. It's not bitter or anything. It's okay. Now, it's a little late in the season, but that wasn't bad. I figured, and I probably, like some of these bigger leaves, I might not want to eat raw. Oh well, there's a nasty one we don't want anyway. But I think early in the spring, actually, from what I've understood, you should eat it early in the spring for a good flavor. But that wasn't bad, so it wasn't like it was bitter or anything. So, not too bad. I might have to start adding that in my spring salad. I always do a spring salad early in the spring, a couple of times for good flushing tonic. So I'll be trying that. That's pretty good. Probably down in there, I'm not going to pack it. You don't want to pack it because you want plenty of liquid. So I'm going to fill it up about maybe a little over half, and then fill the rest of the way up with vodka and let that just store that away and let that steep. It isn't going to hurt anything to just let it steep. You can strain it and put it in, dropper bottles or something if you want to, but you don't have to. It can sit in this for a long, long time, like forever. Like I said, you can eat it. It is high in vitamins A, B, C, and K. It also has a chemical known as tannins that helps with reduce swelling, and it is anti-inflammatory to where it will help with joint pain and swelling and all that. It's anti-inflammatory. It is good for RA, which I have. So I don't know. I don't think I have. I know people that have RA that have had to have treatments, and I haven't had to have any treatments. She just gave me an arthritis medicine that has really helped, but supposedly this would help too. So my thinking is I would save this, and I'm just going to keep making it and saving it, because with the alcohol it will last forever. And that way, if I'm ever without the medication, or if and when I decide to get off of the medication, I can start using this. So that's one reason that I'm making it. Also, it is supposed to be good for, you can make a tea out of this by itself. You can make a tea for allergies. You can make a tea all by itself for allergy, or you could mix it with stinging nettle. Goldenrod is a great one that we're going to talk about later on in the year. When it starts turning yellow, when it blooms out, starts turning yellow, we'll be talking about that. Goldenrod is a great one for allergies. So you could add this and stinging nettle and goldenrod and make a great allergy tea. It's also good for blood pressure. And I have high blood pressure. I take a medication for high blood pressure. I would love to get off of some of these medications that I'm on. I'm on a blood pressure medication along with the low dose aspirin, and I am on it's a bad one, bad leaf. I am on the arthritis medicine, and I would love to get off of those. I actually tried to get myself weaned off of the blood pressure medicine, but when I did, I started having some issues and had to go back on. And maybe that's because I wasn't using enough stuff like this. I had used a little. I had tried hawthorn berry, but we don't have that here, so I had to order it. I had ordered some hawthorn berry, and what else? There was something else. Oh, that I do have was flat leaf parsley. So I was taking some hawthorn berry and some flat leaf parsley for the blood pressure. And it just didn't, it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. I started having problems and had to go back on the blood pressure medicine. Maybe this is supposed to be good for blood pressure, so maybe I'll try this sometime or another, maybe along with those. Or if it ever comes to a situation to where I can't get my blood pressure medicine, I know what I can try. And it is said to be good for like irritable bowel syndrome and things like that, and Crohn's disease and things that have to do with the stomach. This is supposed to be good for those. It's a good plant to have around for all kinds of different ailments. You could look some of those up. I told you some. I'm missing something that thyroid. It's good for thyroid and all the way to tuberculosis. Tuberculosis was one of the things way back in the Culpeper time that they used it for. So it's good for so many different issues that it is great to have some of this on hand. And like I said, I've already got a pint of it. I'm making another pint, and then I'm going to dry some. You want to dry it to use it in oil. If I was going to give it to the kids, the grandkids, I would want it to probably be the oil. The oil does not last as long. You have to really stay on top of that. The oil will last a couple of years. So if you didn't use it in that couple of years, I will probably, for the oil, I will make a smaller jar. I'll make a half pint, a little jelly jar or something, because I know I'm probably not going to use that much of it as an oil. And so if you can order some of it, if you can't find it on your property, there is a good seed company that has wild medicinal seeds. It's called Strictly Medicinal. They're online, and it's called Strictly Medicinal Seeds. And we have ordered a few things from there that we couldn't find in our area. So check that out, and you could get these, I'm sure, on there and plant them and get your own little spot started. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Watch us on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time for more fun and foraging. We have fun for the first 30 minutes, and then we talk about foraging for the last 30 minutes. So y'all check it out. You want to go almost all the way to the top with that, and then take something and poke all that material, that plant material, way down in there the best you can. You could even put a weight, a clean rock or something on top of it to keep it down in there if you want it to. Put a lid on that loosely and let it steep until I need it. Thank y'all.